Welcome back to another Discovery Storytime. Today, we're going to be taking a look into our great Oregon backyard at some plants and leaves and what we can observe when we look at the world around us. We'll also be making some leaf lines, which, besides being the last word in fashion, offer a great opportunity to observe the changes of plants over time. But let's start today with a book. Go on a hike with me.
Our book today is The Hike by Alison Farrell, used with permission by Chronicle Books. The Hike. Yoo-hoo, almost ready? Just one more cut. Just a few more feathers. Three Sisters Garden. We are going on a hike. Wren, Elle, Hattie, and Bean. Here's some examples of creatures, flora and fauna, that they see on their way. They'll be labeled throughout the book. Chipmunk, red frogs, bumblebees, lupine. It's our favorite thing to do. Shook, 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 shook. From the Stellar's Jay. Hey, wait for me. In the beginning, we run like maniacs. Ruff. This does take place in the Pacific Northwest. That's where we live. Until a ripe patch of thimbleberries slows us down. Elle teaches us how to make leaf baskets. Like this, Elle? Yep. Wren has a sketchbook where she both observes and writes down observations. We may have eaten too many berries. Is that possible? I thought we were saving some for later. Arf! Tap, 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 from the pileated woodpecker. If you hear drumming on a tree in the woods, that may be the sound that you hear. The hike gets steep and the trail narrows. Boo! Ack! Hattie! How'd you get up there so fast? We get lost. Which way is north? Pretty sure we were not supposed to cross the river yet. Did we go left after the berry patch? Right, I think. Wren, what's another word for blue? Azure, cerulean, cobalt? Wren's sketchbook. Hattie always finds the route. She's also creating a map of where they've been. We're halfway there. In no time, we get back on track. Who made these? She's identifying some tracks that she found on the trail. A deer walks past. Bean sneezes. Achoo! The deer vanishes so quick, we wonder if it was ever really there. A light rain comes and goes. The birds are happy. We listen to them chirp and chatter in the trees. This is the river where we were looking for, right, Hattie? Birds we saw. This includes what she saw and where she saw it. These are great notes that Wren is taking in her sketchbook. Hattie gets tired. Elle offers to carry her. We can't hear you. I said 30 minutes to the top. Soon, Elle is tired too. Giddy up. Can't think I can do this much longer. Ride's over, everyone. It's getting chilly. At the top, Wren takes out her flag. Elle reads her poem, and Hattie releases feathers into the wind. We did it. Now the night has fallen, they can see the constellations in the night sky. More notes from Wren's sketchbook. This includes a lot of nonfiction information about ecosystems in the Pacific Northwest. Nursing logs are a very interesting source, a small community of animals and plants that live together on a dead tree. More notes about the plants, the flora and fauna that Wren saw on their hike. What kinds of things can you discover on your hike? Because they're in the same place we are, you might see a lot that's very similar. I hope you enjoyed this book, and we'll catch you next time. Now, on to our scientific experiment.
Our science today has to do with the most important organ of a plant, the leaf. Leaves, these big green veiny things that you'll see on almost any plant, help provide it with energy by breaking down sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water to create energy for the plant. They are the little batteries that power a plant. However, plants have very many of them, and they come in a variety of ways. See, these are pine needles. These are leaves. You can see by the green that they are doing photosynthesis. That's where they use chlorophyll to convert sunlight to energy. The big leafy kinds that when you think of leaf, you're very familiar with. And also blades of grass. These are leaves too. Leaves come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, but they all perform the same function of moving water and producing energy throughout the plant. But when the leaf stops receiving water, when it dies off, it changes, doesn't it? There's a big difference between our big leafy, soft one and a little brown, crunchy one as well. You'll have an opportunity to observe this by creating leaf lines. Let's get to that project. What you're going to want to do is take 2 little twigs and attach them to a piece of yarn, twine, or string. That we're going to use these sticks as little needles, almost as if we're sewing. This is a great activity for little hands trying to build that finger dexterity, but it's also a great activity for older kids because there's a huge number of experiments that we can set up and observe over time. So what you'll need is a few leaves. If you've recently done some yard work, you'll probably have plenty of these laying around in the yard. Otherwise, they're easy enough to find just lying on the forest floor. You can also use fallen pieces of flowers or even entire plants if they're weeds that you've dug up from your garden or otherwise not going to hurt the environment. So what you're going to want to do is take your little needle twig, poke it through the leaf, and string it onto your leaf line. And we'll keep doing that until we've got 5, 6, 7 leaves, however many you want to do. It'll be great to get a variety of leaves to see how they change over time. See, here's a couple of different ones. You can see how they're veiny, they're still green. Those veins are the vascular parts of the leaves that are carrying water to the surfaces where it will evaporate in a process called transpiration that'll pull the minerals and the rest of the water up the plant or tree. String that on and continue that process until you've made a nice leaf line. I'm wearing mine for convenience. Let's take a look at what the product looks like. Here is my finished leaf line that I have hung up for observation. You can see I have a variety of types of leaves that are strung up on this line so I can observe them over time. What you want to do is to leave this in a place that you can come back to and check on it day after day to see the changes in the leaves. Do they change color? Do they change consistency? You can feel the leaf. Does that change over time? And if it does, why might that be? You can make this into a broader experiment by putting a leaf line outdoors and a leaf line indoors to see which one lasts longer. Or you can try putting one that receives more sunlight or less sunlight. You can try spraying it down with water every day or leaving it to dry. There are any number of combinations that you can use to turn this into a scientific experiment. Remember to record your notes and observations over time as you go. Now what should happen is as the leaves slowly dry out, they should become brown and brittle, like we see in the fall when they come off the trees. That's because when the water is no longer in the cells of the plant, they become hard and brittle, and they're no longer moving minerals along the stems. They're no longer producing energy using their chlorophyll. That's why they lose their green color, and they lose their function to the plant. But don't worry, plants make leaves, new leaves, all the time, and losing leaves is just a natural process of their cycle. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that was at least interesting to you, and that if you've made a leaf line very simple to do, there's a whole number of experiments you can do to observe our natural world in action and how it changes over time. I look forward to seeing what you do, and hopefully you come back to see what I do next time. See you later!